Back in Book 1 of Sailing Adrift, we completely refit our 1972 vintage sailboat in our driveway. And then we splashed it into the Columbia River. And guess what? It floats. So now we're gonna move aboard and live our lives on the water. Last time on Sailing Adrift, we enjoyed a nice little river cruise leaving St. Helens, Oregon, making our way to Cathlamet, Washington. Then we dropped the hook for our first ever night at anchor.
Very crazy.
Chris went on a mission for pie while I discovered our anchor alarm works.
And I popped up here and we are facing the complete opposite direction, but that is okay. Yeah, I think it's just...
We finished off our day by taking the dinghy out for a date night. This week, the dream is becoming a lot more real, as this is our last leg before approaching the open ocean.
One of those things that kind of pushes your comfort zone, and then your comfort zone is extended.
We're picking up anchor and heading to Astoria. We found a nice little anchorage that's supposed to be super well protected. Basically, they said that whole area is terrible for anchoring except for one spot, and we're gonna go there. Here's the mouth of the Columbia River. We're gonna go to this little great anchorage just east of Astoria, Oregon, called Lewis Island. That's a little spot you can see is very well protected all the way around. So hopefully we'll be comfortable, even though there's some wind predicted in the forecast. So that's where we're heading today. We're gonna get the boat ready to go, pull up anchor, and get the heck out of here. Cathlamet was nice, but not last night. No, and it's supposed to be like that again tonight. Not gonna stay.
Yeah, last night was pretty rough and rolly for us, but we're not gonna whine about it. We're just gonna move on.
Okay, so you're out front, and we'll just slowly pick it up while we slowly move forward. I basically am going to take it a color at a time and then come knock it down because that seems to be good.
Let's fire up the engine. Red! Green! Blue!
This will be the anchor.
Okay. I see it! We're good.
You home?
Yeah.
Well, Cal, let's just say that went perfectly.
Your blue and red are pretty good holding wise, but the green is taking a beating. The green paint.
Oh, that was the only one that wasn't Rust-Oleum. That was Krylon.
Yeah,
Tractor paint. I guess you don't dump your tractor.
Freaking farmers.
And that really went really well. I don't think it could have gone much better. Weighing anchor. I'm back here, lifting it up at her signals and moving the boat forward, and then every 10 meters I go up and knock down the castling and the anchor locker. Castling, if you don't know, is when your chain piles on itself and just makes a big old pile, and then it blocks the pipe and doesn't work. But that worked great. I'm very happy with how that turned out. On the road again. I just can't wait to get back on the road again.
While Chris drove, I was down below, trying to get some work done on my laptop. But it was getting pretty rough out there.
Whoa! This river's angry today. It is a bit choppy and windy. Our autopilot's working again, though. Knock on wood, keep that going. Something must be going on here. Look at this action. Kelly, come check this out. There's a bunch of them. Hurry! Kelly!
This apparent feeding frenzy was just wild to see. We've never seen anything like it. I caught some of the action, but my experience was short-lived.
Kelly's down here feeling puny, as my grandma would say. She's crazy, sitting backwards in all this mess, playing on a computer. There's no way, I'd be puking everywhere.
Getting close to Astoria, where the ocean's influence really starts to show itself.
It is definitely swelly out here, and I didn't expect to have to deal with that for another few days before we head out in the ocean. It's pretty rolly. I'm just hanging out here watching the autopilot do its thing, and I feel fine. But poor Kelly has put herself in what I like to call a compromised position, but not the kind I usually like a bad one. What do we do, Kelly?
home bacon.
Shortly after this, I decided to close up shop for the day and try to focus on making our surroundings as hazard-free as possible, since we're getting all knocked around and shit's flying everywhere. I was also trying really hard not to hurl all over the place.
Don't worry about that, Belle. Just watch the horizon and worry about yourself.
I really don't want to place my ankle on something stupid.
One of the few things that didn't move was our blender. I don't know or by what sorcery, but this product called museum wax secured our blender from flying around.
Been quite a 24 hours, huh, babe?
Yeah.
Oh no, here it comes. I'm not feeling so good.
Puke in the sink, don't push off to the side.
In the sink?
I'd rather you puke in the sink than fall over the side of the boat. It's pretty freaking hairy right now. Use the big blue bucket.
That's a great idea. Now I just have to find that big blue bucket. Oh, here it is. And here it comes. Well, it was game over for me. I was down for the count.
You gotta embrace the misery and make it worthwhile. I'm over here freaking rivermouth rodeoing.
Yeah.
We got 25 knots. We're just going for it, man. Yep, and I'm doing it. We got an athletic stance.
Yep.
At this point, we're not that far away, but we have no idea what conditions will be when we get there. If it's too rough to anchor, we will need a contingency plan. We're both really counting on this hidden gem of an anchorage to be possible tonight.
I will say this, Drifter's been a tramp. We're just going.
Captain Chris kept on, steering us to safety like a boss.
Feels a little more calm.
Yeah.
Kelly broke her cherry. She done filled up a bucket. It's kind of fun. We're right in the middle of the channel, and I can see our destination. I can see the bridge of Astoria. I can see the islands that are supposed to be protecting us. So that's where we're headed. We're trying to get there, man. We're just getting through the last little bits of Perry, and we're getting behind some coverage. We got an island off to this side, and a big cliffside off to this side. And we're trying to tuck ourselves in to this anchorage spot. Should be right around the corner. We're real close. I'm a little worried because this isn't like smooth, so I'm hoping it continues to smooth out. No one wants to sit in this. Although it's way better than it was 2 seconds ago. I wish you could like capture the ridiculousness, because it's literally like I'm going back and forth and I'm just like hinging my knees while the boat just freaking flies.
A few long minutes later, we coasted into our anchorage spot through the John Day Channel.
Oh my god, this is so much better, Kelly. Like seriously, it looks like this. Which seems like it might be a little choppy, but it's not. I feel like we're smooth. This might as well be glass, am I right? Compared to what it was like before, it's like super mellow. Shit's flying everywhere. We lost all the stuff. Like we pickled onions fell on the ground. Our coffee pot fell. I mean, it was hairy. And I think we learned our lesson. Just because we think we're on a river and it's not going to be super crazy, doesn't mean we shouldn't be prepared for it being super crazy. Because, like, shit was falling everywhere. It was pretty exciting. I didn't hate it. You're in it, and it's happening. You're a little nervous, but your adrenaline's pumping, and it was pretty cool. That's how Kelly felt about it too. You left your excitement in that bucket.
Yeah. That's only half.
Nice, look at that mess behind you. It didn't look like that when we left. There's just stuff everywhere. So the wind's coming from this direction. I think our best bet would be to tuck into here.
Great plan. Let's drop the hook so we can just be still and chill for a while.
It's like glass. Look at that. And all that bullshit out there. It's like glass here.
Yeah,
we're gonna be so comfortable. This is gorgeous. I mean, you were out there with me, right? All the puking and the shit flying.
This is much better.
Agreed.
Excellent choice.
So I'll just start dropping.
We successfully dropped our anchor, then I decided to do a quick perimeter check, just to make sure that everything that was on deck when we left is still on deck. Do I want a beer? Nah. Yep, this is it. This is exactly what I want right now.
We are officially at anchor. Well, I know today was kind of rough for you, but two really big takeaways. One, that was freaking hairy. Waves everywhere. The boat was getting pitched left and right, and I never felt like I was out of control. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I was definitely out of control, but I was controlled out of control, if that makes any sense. The other thing is, we did our homework. We made a decision to come here based on the research and people just talking about how it's an excellent anchorage, and it obviously is.
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine what this was going to be like. I was trying to figure out what I was hoping we might find when we get here. So that's awesome. Like, especially since just over this little island, it's nasty as hell. Like, it's literally on the other side of it, and it's not a very wide island.
No.
And I'm just amazed at the difference. And another big win today is turning the autopilot on and have it work again. I don't know why it did what it did in the first place, where it just started veering off course. I don't know what made it better, but I'm glad. And we'll keep testing it just to make sure that it was a blip. What are your big takeaways, Kelly?
My big takeaways are don't try to work while we're underway.
Don't try to work while we're underway in bad conditions.
Yeah, and if I start to feel sick, stop and don't think it's going to like get better, because it won't. It will get progressively worse. The other takeaway is we need to be more prepared about our stowage.
Definitely.
That's the big one, because when it got hairy, it was just like, oh, there's hot coffee flying everywhere and things to trip over, and it was giving me a lot of anxiety.
Falling off walls,
especially
breaking.
Because I'm like down here on the ground hugging a bucket, and I can't like get up to save my life, much less move things around you, who needs to be able to drive. That was
we're
the hairy
recovered,
part.
and we're already back to like, we had a little casualty on that little sign, but I think that's fixable.
This guy.
And we've already cleaned up the mess from the onions, and
Coffee.
but yeah, overall, kind of an exciting, kind of a crazy experience.
Well, I'm gonna catch up on work while Chris gets on to his next project, the anchor bridle.
In a place like this, it doesn't really matter, but the gypsy, which is this piece right here that holds the chain, is what's holding us in place, and that's not good. You need something a little bit stronger. That's why they built this aluminum cleat on here, and we're going to make it so we can latch onto the chain and attach it to this aluminum cleat. To do that, I'm going to splice some Dyneema because it's super strong. Not a lot of stretch though, but we don't need stretch for this application. After that, I'm going to keep splicing, and we're going to make ourselves a bridle for the anchor, which is stretchy and does make it so if we had a violent shift in direction, you get some stretch before the chain just goes whonk, because you know chain, it's pretty strong and it doesn't really have any give whatsoever. So first things first, we're going to mark this out and splice it, and then we'll splice the big boy. All right, there we go. We have a line that has 2 locking loops. Well, let's go install it. All right, we got it all set up. Using a clevis pen, we hooked on an anchor hook, this guy right here. So basically, you just hook this on like that, and then loop it around there like that. So we'll give this a tug and snug it on tight. There we go. Now we have slack here, and all that strain of the chain is on this. This will ultimately act as a backup, because when we put the bridle on, that'll take all the load and give us a little bit of stretch to deal with shock loading. But this is better than putting it on that gypsy wheel, because it's not meant to do that. It's not meant to spin and pick things up and put them down. So, on to the bridle. All right, one more thing to splice, and that is our bridle. We're gonna use this, hold on, stainless steel, hold on, get out of your package, you can do it, there we go. It's right here. Stainless steel attachment point. This will attach to the anchor through one of the links, and we've already tested that, but we need to splice the two ends of rope, these two ends, to this side, and then there'll be a loop at each end with some shape protection, and then this will attach to the anchor, and these two loops, oh there, these two loops will hook around the cleats on the deck and go out to the anchor and provide the bridle. Should work snazzy.
This is a rough idea of what the bridle will look like and how it functions. The red lines represent the black lines Chris is splicing.
So we've got the two lines. I've marked them where we're going to end the splice, and I've individualized each strand. We'll have to cut the little rope ends off of each one, but plan on doing it the whole time. The big thing that we want to make sure we're doing is we want to splice this piece of hardware directly into the rope so it's fixed in the middle, rather than like this where it can move up and down the line, because that doesn't do us any good. All that's going to do is slide from side to side rather than taking the load off the chain. So I'm going to cut this off, open it way back, insert this into the middle of the lines, and then splice them together. I've tried to do this before. It turned out strong but ugly, so I'm hoping I'll do a better job this time. All right, it's a little difficult to see, but we have two strands on the inside, one strand on the outside from this side of the rope, and then two strands on the outside and one strand on the inside on this side, so that'll lock it into place. We have to remove the tape here, and then we'll splice it all the way back, and then remove this tape and splice it this way. Here we go. There. I have a feeling future Chris will scoff and disdain at present Chris's ability to splice, but it's strong and it'll do the job. I'm gonna sew some whipping onto the tips and we should be able to go install it. All right, let's give this a go. Here's our chafe protection, these little Velcro on guys. We'll throw these over the side, feed those in. That. There's one side. There we go. Nice and secure. I'm gonna pull this up and let go of this snubber for now, and then we'll pull the anchor up a little bit so that we can attach this correctly and then drop it back in. So now we pull it in through the front and hook it into place. And then basically we drop the anchor until this is taking a load and not the windlass. And then maybe we can get Kelly to drop it. Hey Kelly, would you drop it? There it goes. Stop! Didn't anticipate that thing. I forgot about it. Can you come back up? Stop! All right, I'm gonna have to fix that. All right, I think the most dangerous but easiest way to do this will be to attach it past that piece. I just don't want to drop this in the water, so I'm not going to film. Okay, count down. Okay, now we got the whole load on these lines on either side. Our bridle is now holding the weight of the chain, and this is nice and loose, which is exactly what we're looking for. Now we can take this and just hook it on right there, but this whole thing should be loose, this being secondarily loose. So now the primary weight is being held by the bridle, and the secondary weight is being held by this little cleat, and nothing is being held by this gypsy. Number one!
Off to the grocery store, which now for us is a full-on adventure.
Come on down. And away we go.
We were both pretty nervous and hopeful that the conditions outside our cozy anchorage were calm enough to get us into town and back home safely.
Head to town.
What?
Head into town.
Yep, sun's out.
I've got my gun stowed away though.
The ride in the dinghy was about 45 minutes one way. Thank God it wasn't like yesterday, and we timed it right with the tides. Otherwise, this little excursion wouldn't have been possible. We had officially entered sea lion territory. They had us totally surrounded as we looked for a decent spot to tie off our dinghy. Finally, we saw the boat ramp.
Should be good for at least 30 minutes, but probably more.
I know, but it sounds like they're looking for somebody named Art. Who could find him in all this cacophony?
We secured floater to the dock and made our way towards the grocery store.
Anyway, we made it to Safeway.
Yeah.
We're gonna get some groceries.
Provisions.
Yes, we got everything.
$87 worth of provisions. And a Pete's Coffee, real cream and sugar.
Nice. Back to the sea lions.
Yeah, okay.
We followed the trolley trail back to the boat launch, hopeful that floater was still intact and hadn't been commandeered by a sea lion. Good news, we made it back and floater appears to look just like we left him. Time to head home.
Oh, it stinks. That smells poorly. Stay downwind if you like. Roll macaroons. Do not be assaulted by their stinky butts. Look at that big boy. Look at that other big boy with the white. Go!
Oh my gosh!
So, all said and done, this was about a 3-hour journey, just to go get groceries. But it's totally worth it. We had fun, and we find a lot of value in moments like these. Sometimes it's about the journey, not the destination.
We're back. Maybe.
I think I can grab it.
You should. Set us right in. Nice leisurely approach. Don't miss it.
I got it.
You go ahead and climb out and I'll hand you stuff.
Sounds like a plan. My foot is asleep, and that is not helping the situation. Well, that was a very successful trip, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Got all the groceries. I'm gonna take that outboard in because I feel like it should do better than it does. But it got us there, got us back. Let's see what the boat did while we were gone. Solar's been operating. It's nice and warm in here. We've got 71% power, and when we left, we had 58. So that's pretty good.
That evening was like being on our very own private lake. The water was incredibly calm, we had an amazing sunset, and literally couldn't ask for a more peaceful and serene setting. Oh, and Chef Chris made some bomb-ass burgers.
Okay, what I have for you tonight is onion burgers. We have beef burger with blue cheese, pickled onions, onion relish over an avocado crema on an onion bun, and fondant potatoes.
Yum. That looks
Bon
delicious.
appetito.
That's it for now. Tune in next week and see our next move.
You think it'll take 2 hours to get there?
That's what it says.
It's 12 miles from
I
here?
stayed up from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. playing on navigation and weather apps.
Yeah.
So I know.
You look equally as stupid.
I'm sure I do. But I can't see me. We're castling. Oh. Oh.
Cops are coming.
Wow.
You're gonna pull on your shaft, huh?
Here. Mm-hmm.
Are you videoing right now?
Aren't you?
Come on in.
it. You gotta embrace the misery.
Okay, hold this, please.
Sure. I'll get a nice booty shot for you. Hold on, let me.
Kelly's not having a good time. She keeps like rejecting all her foods. Yeah, very happy with this spot, Kelly. This is like, I feel like a moose should come out and like drink.
Keep going.